What's going on, Libra? This is your girl Venus Archangel here with another love reading for y'all. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I hope y'all are ready to see what's going on in your weekly soulmate investigation read, because I know I am. Let's go ahead and get into this, family. Let's see what the hell's going on. Now, you know my usual spiel, guys. If you're unsure of your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, go ahead and check the description box below. I also have my social media, the cards I use on the channel typically. This is the Fountain Tarot, Romance, Angels, and Whispers of Love. So if you guys are interested in getting your own cards, all that information is in the description box below. And yes, guys, please remember that these readings may not resonate with everybody, and that is totally fine. All right, y'all, let's get up in here and figure out what the hell's going on for this week. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the Romance Angels first. You know me, I be oscillating. I be doing the tarot cards first, and sometimes I be doing the Romance Angels cards. I'm feeling the Romance Angels cards for us today. You know how I'm gonna be starting it off. So let's go ahead and do that. And honeymoon. Okay, enjoy this bliss of holiday time together. Nice. So what we got going on here? Where are we going? Are we going to Jamaica? Are we going to Korea? Are we going to Japan? Where are we going? Going to Paris? Are we going to Paris, family? You're like, I wish. I'm like, I wish too. Shoot. All right, let's go ahead and see what we got going on for the remainder of this read, though. Okay. So starting out, we already got the Tower for one person here, and this is the mind space that I'm pulling for right now. This helps us to understand the mentality that both parties are going, the mentality of the mindset both parties are going into this relationship with, right? What are they thinking? Now, this isn't necessarily dipping into their personal business, like how do they feel about you, and etc. This is just strictly on how they see this relationship. What do they think of when they think of this relationship? Now, this is the physical plane. This helps us to understand what everybody is presenting themselves as in the relationship, right? What are they displaying to each other, to one another, and how they see themselves, period. And the last cards here, it's the Six of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. And this helps us to understand why everyone's presenting themselves the way they present themselves, as well as think the way they think. Interesting. This card helps us to understand what brought you two together, and this is the challenge that you both face. Darn it, I just made this a straight line. Alright. Wow, fam. And your underlying energy is the Three of Swords. Okay, so definitely need for vacation here, because old issues are coming back up. Why do we got the Three of Swords up underneath here? We have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is someone that's holding down the house, taking care of everything. Libras, you've been taking care of a lot of stuff. Libra, it looks like too, this is about your independence, your sense of security and stability. I feel like this is also putting down roots and taking care of yourself. The Six of Coins. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Y'all have been putting in too much work. Some of y'all have been putting in a lot of work, doing the best that you can within your workspace. But with the Six of Coins coming underneath the Queen of Pentacles, it definitely talks about somebody putting in a lot of effort into the relationship. There's been, there's a dynamic that's quite off in the relationship. Either, you may need to step it up, or somebody else in the relationship does. But I kind of feel like with the Queen of Pentacles queens being cardinal signs, unless you're dating another cardinal sign like a Capricorn, a Cancer, or an Aries, I feel like the person that's doing the most work right now is the person with the Queen of Pentacles. That doesn't necessarily have to mean that way, though. It can mean that there's someone that needs to take care of themselves, needs to put time and nurturing energy into themselves, especially with the Three of Swords coming up underneath that, right? Three of Swords meaning old pains, old issues, things of the past that still wound us, that still hurt us deeply. We find it very hard to, move past. So we have to really look at these Three of Swords, because honestly, the Three of Swords is realizing what the problem is. Okay, it's recognizing what the situation is. Right, it's very, very in your face. You can't dodge it, and there's still, of course, emotions centered around it, right? So it gets triggered. You get triggered by certain things, or there's certain things that come up that really, spark this feeling of unease or anger or sadness, and it's due to some things that is due to the root problem, which you already know what it is. I feel now for some of you guys, it is trying to come up to it is trying to figure out what it is, figure out what that base level pain is. But for a lot of you guys, you already know what it is, and it's about taking those swords out and finally healing yourself, which is why the honeymoon card is coming up, right? Time to step away, time to enjoy the holiday time together. That's about putting yourself in a very healing position and just, be okay, finally starting to, heal from the past and move forward towards the future. So let's go ahead and start with this reading here. Feel free to pick the side that resonates with y'all the most, but I'm going to start with this person here with the Tower in their mind space. Because how they see this relationship is that their relationship's foundation is completely and utterly destroyed, or it needs to be changed. It needs to be adjusted. Now, their whole life may have been just uprooted as well. The Tower talks about a lot of changes, a lot of a seriously abrupt adjustment in you guys' lives at this moment. And now, depending on who you guys resonate with, or which side you guys resonate with, this person is definitely seeing this relationship as a huge change. There's a lot of changes either that need to be made, or this person's riding with those waves. And I kind of feel like this person is not riding with those waves. This person is realizing that there's a lot of things that are not cool or not good, not stable enough for this person. Because we got the Queen of Pentacles underneath here. This is about stability, and the Six of Coins. It talks about, give and take, a balance between the relationship, the balance and the dynamic of the relationship. And I feel like with the Tower coming up like this person is realizing that there's some stuff that needs to be broken down. Some stuff that needs to be broken down and changed for the better, right? And at first, it's talking about destroying the whole foundation as it is, right? Because I think, honestly, it need to be scrapped. I think the whole relationship needs to be like reset, if that makes sense. Start from the bottom, right? So the other person is showing the King of Cups. They're definitely in love. I kind of get this feeling that this person's a bit obsessive about their own emotions, though. Okay, because the King of Cups isn't, he knows what he wants. He knows how he feels, and he is very much aware of what he, or what he wants to manifest. Right? He's very clear on how he feels and things. But when it comes to the King of Cups, nothing really goes outside of himself, in my opinion, because he's a fixed sign, he's a fixed energy. And if you think about it, fixed energy is about stabilizing in a solid. So I feel like with the King of Cups, either this person is in love with the person, have a bit of an obsessive tendencies, or they just kind of keep a lot of their information to themselves. Because the King of Cups and the Three of Swords is coming up, they may be dealing with a lot of emotional, not emotional turmoil, but they're looking at releasing a lot of old pains. I think they're aware of the things that are being brought up because of not just because of the King of Cups, and they know their ins and outs of themselves, right? They're very clear on how their innards work, right? How their feelings work, why they will feel a certain way or whatever. It's not all because of that. I think it's also because of how they've been acting because of the Devil. Now, the reason why the Devil, I was saying that they may be obsessive a little bit, is because of the Devil. And they may be obsessed about what they want, obsessed about what they need, and they may end up doing things or have go into a tendency of doing things that would only serves to benefit them in the moment and never happen to actually spill into the long term. So they're very, they look for instant solutions. When I see the King of Cups and the Devil. The King of Cups, he likes to, I feel like the King of Cups naturally in the card itself is someone that wants a sustainable, something that sustains them, something emotionally sustaining. Not something that lasts in 5 seconds. Nothing that lasts, no longer than like a week or something like that. They like for long-term, stability in that sense of emotions. But they go back to old habits here. When the Devil comes up, that talks about disempowerment, old habits of behavior. It talks about obsessiveness. So I feel like this person that may not just be obsessed with what they want to feel. I think this is also the card for distraction as well. When I see the Devil come up, that card to me is like you're in a position where you feel like you're not very empowered, so you continue to give up your power to make yourself feel a certain way in the moment. So this person may feel like, this person honestly is kind of doing things that may not benefit them in the moment. It may be kind of something like a quick hit of this and that, it may be like, playing video games, right? Or gambling or drinking. They have a momentary satisfaction, or even sex as well. Like they have momentary satisfactions, but they don't actually solve the problem, right? Ultimately, their problem is still with the Three of Swords, right? Stability. And perhaps this is emasculating. Maybe this person is a male or a female, whatever, right? And they're used to being independent, and they rely on other people, and that makes them feel, it makes them feel like they can't do things for themselves. So they do things like the devil that make them feel empowered for the moment, but it doesn't. It obviously doesn't solve their problem. It doesn't overcome their their actual issue, which is the Three of Swords at the base, and they know that that's there. But I feel like at the same time, they're kind of having a hard time figuring out how to break free from that, which is why I feel like this person sees this tower coming into this relationship. They need to change some things. There's things that need to be adjusted, and they know that because if this person is kind of in a position of being stuck, they can't help themselves. The devil doesn't mean that you can't get out of your situation. It's about taking your power back and facing the situation as is, which obviously is why the Three of Swords is coming up. This person has to face the facts. And I feel like facing the facts is very hard because they're very sensitive. The King of Cups I feel like is very sensitive. He could be tough, but not in the sense of like the King of Pentacles or King of Swords, or even the King of Wands in that matter. He's very soft, he's very gentle, he's very sweet, he's very nurturing, he's very loving, he's very romantic. And I think this person has a very romantic tendencies, and they are probably, very good in bed, but the thing is that they're distracting themselves from the actual issue. All right? So that being said, the other person is displaying themselves as the Five of Pentacles, struggling, working very hard, feeling left out in the cold, feeling rejected. So there's a lot of things that obviously they're needing to change here, and they're already starting from the bottom here because they have the Five of Pentacles. They're struggling. They're trying to work towards a solution that benefits them and the relationship. Because right now things are not in a very stable place, and they know that. There's a lot of things that could be better in the relationship. Like they have it. There's things that are they need to work on. Not that they need to completely not that there's something's missing or anything. There's just some things that need to be worked on. There's some things that are lacking. And I feel like this person is definitely struggling to get back on track, trying to get things back in a flow. And what they're trying to do, right, is pretty much go back to the Six of Cups. I feel like the reason why all of this energy, the reason why this person is identifying as the Five of Coins in their physical energy, and their mental energy is the Tower, is because they're trying to get back to the Six of Cups. They want to go back to a time where there was happiness, there was honeymoons, there was innocence. They're trying to return back to that time where there was a lot of love, there was a lot of connection, there was a lot of time of fun and connecting with the youthfulness, right? Because it's been serious since. It's been very serious. With the Tower, the Five of Coins, the Devil, the Three of Swords. There's some serious ass energy. And I feel like this person wants to just return back to the place where they were happiest, wanting to get back to that place where they were, the most in love, they were the most free, they want to get back to that old way of being. But they're finding it hard to do, especially if they're feeling left out in the cold, they're feeling like they're the only ones doing the push, they're not, they're finding it difficult. And if the finances are even an issue as well, they're going to find it even more difficult because I feel like they feel like as well, even though they're pushing through and struggling, they are not really getting enough sustainability. They're not getting enough support. So the Six of Cups is about reminiscing, looking back at the past, a past relationship. I think they're trying to get back to a situation in the past that, of course, made them happy. But they're finding it difficult at this moment. And the other person showing up in their spiritual plane is showing the Wheel of Fortune here. This is obviously the reason why they have the Devil coming up here in the King of Cups is because of the Wheel of Fortune. They had a new opportunity come in. The door has opened for them to have another opportunity or take another chance at something. So this is like a reoccurrence for them. So both parties are going through a period of a second chance kind of thing. Because the Six of Cups is like, hey, this is a second chance here, and this person is like, hey, this is a second chance. But there's old issues that are surrounding their separation in the first place, or perhaps this restart, because obviously this is what I think this is personally what's the problem is that this there's old issues surrounding that new beginning, and of overcoming it is going to require lots of patience, a lot of time and moderation, which is why the Temperance card is in the very center. Right, it's the card that is telling us how you guys came together, what brought you two together, and it was a need for balance in yourselves. Right now, of course, we'll think, okay, it's not really me that's the problem; it's the other person. But no, think about it. If you're the person that's not giving enough in the relationship, or you're doing too much, you are not balanced. Period. You are not balanced, and that's okay. It's not blame. It's not anything. Because temperance is about balancing yourself, moderation of yourself, making sure that you take on tasks that balance your life out too, having a perfect flow within you, right? And that balance, that flow is representation of your 50% of the relationship. Now, the second you start delving into someone else's 50%, you are not balanced. Because you're already taking on way too much. You're taking on, the responsibilities of the other person, and therefore you cannot maintain your balance of your situation and someone else's and expect there to be a balance in the relationship. You know what I mean? There has to be total designation to what you're doing and what the other person is doing. And that's why temperance is here. I think there was an imbalance in your life prior to this person. And the fact that this person is in your life now, soulmates, right? They're here to help you find your balance, what makes your life more balanced in your life. And then the same with the other person. Because they get obsessive, they may be very passive in their life, which makes them obviously feel like they're disempowered all the time because they give away their power, and it's always someone else's fault, perhaps, with this individual too. But right, the main problem is this person does not take either they don't take responsibility, they're too passive, they let other people take care of them instead of them taking care of themselves. This is about independence with the Queen of Pentacles, so this is all about one's worth, one's value, and this is also telling a story about everyone's value. And this person may feel disvalued here because they put in so much, or this person may feel like they don't see, they're not valued enough, they don't feel very valuable at this moment, and it's because there's a lot of changes that need to be made that honestly are not reflective of what brought them together in the first place, about that was reflective of the chemistry that these people share. The challenge is the magician, and the challenge is very interesting here because it's we were just talking about self-esteem, talking about self-worth, and the magician has confidence because it needs the confidence that he has, because in order for him to be able to manifest happiness, manifest anything that he wants in his world, he has to know that he is able and capable of doing it. And I feel like everybody's in this reading may or may not be aware of the tools that they have available to them already that's prepared for this relationship. I think some people feel like they're not set, they don't have, they're not in the position to do certain things, or they're not ready, they don't have certain things that they need to be able to conquer certain troubles or certain problems. But that's the thing, right? The devil is a distraction card, in my opinion, because the devil's like giving you everything that you wanted for the price of time, right? You're not going to have that for a very long period of time. You're going to keep coming back for samples and samples and samples until you find within yourself what you need to actually have a sustainable source. But the reason why the devil to me is a distraction card is because it's like he's not the one distracting. You're using him as a distraction at this point. And the reason why is because, like I said before, right, everything is a projection, in a sense, right? Or everything is about feeling empowered in the moment, feeling empowered, period. And the reason why the devil isn't the distraction, it is used as a distraction, is because it deters away from us finding our true power and our true selves. Because the magician knows his true power. The magician is aware of his capabilities. And if you knew your true power and your capabilities and realized that everything that you needed, which is, in my opinion, the devil and the magician are very similar, because they both tell you that everything that you ever needed, everything that you ever wanted, is right there within yourself. If you realize that, you wouldn't need the devil. You wouldn't be, this person wouldn't need to feel like they have to go and do certain things in order to get some sort of stimulus, right? They wouldn't feel like they have to kind of, go back to old patterns of behaving. They wouldn't feel like they have to obsess over things. They wouldn't feel trapped. They wouldn't feel disempowered. They would feel, this person would realize that, hey, I'm giving my power up, not anyone else. No one else is telling me I have to do X, Y, and Z. This is the stipulations and the things that I put in place for myself. Therefore, I'm putting myself in a situation of disempowerment, but I can take myself out of it, right? And there's nothing wrong with the devil, right? There's nothing wrong with it as long as it's in moderation, which is what we got going on here. Overdoing situations. It's an overflux of something. It's too much of something, and this person is overdoing it. I feel like this is overindulgence at this point. Overindulgence in a situation that doesn't require them to take action. right? Because they always find other people to do it, or they find someone else to do it. That's where that Six of Pentacles came in when I was talking about it. It's codependency. There's some energy here that this person has to take back for themselves, and they have to find it in their own time. But the way that you can help them is by no longer providing them the means to get this devil energy. Meaning, you handle your situation, you focus on what you need for yourself, and that's it. You know, you'll help them by helping yourself focus on yourself. Temperance, moderation, all things. Being independent, the Magician. Challenges about being independent is finding your own power and recognizing that you have everything that you need and all the tools available to you to be happy. And until you understand that this other person is not going, it's not fair to require this person to have and to know their power if you don't do or practice what you preach. You know what I mean? Same difference, right? There's no need to, start blaming people or judging anybody. And I don't think there's any judgment or anything like that here. But the only way for this relationship to become sustainable, become balanced, is if you come from a place of sustainability for yourself. You have to find independence within yourself. You no longer can rely on other people. You can no longer help people that rely on you. It's time to help yourself, to get to a place where you can be good and feel good about yourself and trust that the other person will know the direction they need to go as well, since considering that both of you guys are in this chapter together, right? And it may be a struggle, it may be definitely hard to do that, especially when you love the person. But if you truly love the person, you would want the best for them. And the best way for them to learn anything is through their own experiences and not by, telling them or advising them. Because obviously with advice and everything that comes up, right? Even for me as a tarot reader, you can watch this reading and say, fuck this doesn't make sense. Or I don't like this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That's cool. But I trust that once you leave these readings, whatever you decide to do, you will be led in the right direction because of, what you are led to do. I'm not here for advice. I'm here to spawn different perspectives and different ideas. And if you reject those ideas, if you can, accept those ideas, that's power to you. But either way, you're going to find the right path for you, and that's the best. That's the best thing I can ever hope for anybody. So what you guys have is do something for someone else, and it says give your attention to someone else. Now, for those of you that have been already doing that, I think this is really big. It's a really big card here for you. And what does that mean? It's like, okay, look at everything that you do for other people and figure out if that's something that you get in return. Not now get in return in the sense of like making sure you do stuff for other people, make sure you get something reciprocated. No, understand that of course when you give something to someone, you do it out of without condition. You do it because you do it out of love. But if you are overdoing the whole giving thing and you're not really seeing any sort of balance coming out of it, be mindful that what you're doing may be enabling, right? Be careful that what you're giving, right, just even if it's purely from love or a loving place and you just want to give it to them because you love them, understand that, be careful what you give to people because it can disempower the situation. It can cause the situation to become even more imbalanced. Come from a place of love. Give when it's give when you feel like you want to give, of course, definitely. I'm not going to tell you when not to give, but be careful and pay attention to the timings as to what you give people. Okay. And for the other person that may be, slacking off on that part, right? Consider other people because they've considered you, right? And obviously, of course, be open to giving and giving of yourself, especially if this is a relationship, right? But, when it comes to giving for someone, I think the biggest message that the thing is saying is that don't give to somebody with expectations of some sort of return, and don't give to somebody be careful about giving to someone, period, if they have the tendency to not do to consider other people. If they're only obsessed about what they want and obsessed about what they get, and they're not considering anybody else, be mindful that that's what you're going to continue to receive. You're encouraging the behavior of someone not thinking outside of themselves, right? And if you're cool with that, you're cool with that. If you want to give that thing to them, give that thing to them. But be mindful that this person's not going to change their behavior by what you give them. It's actually what you do for yourself is how they will appreciate you further. Right? So do something for someone else is a very weird card to get for this situation, because I don't think it's for the person that's been giving. I think it's for the person that has been receiving a lot and haven't really been giving anything back. So yeah, it's difficult reading, y'all. It definitely spanned for quite a long time, so definitely went over time quite a bit. But I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you all so very much for all the love, support, and liking and subscribing and sharing these videos. I truly appreciate every last one of y'all. And I will see you guys later on. Take care, family. Bye, guys.